There's one specific hormone in your brain that is responsible for your porn addiction, and will explain to you in this video what it is and how it works. If you're new to this channel, or if you're watching these videos, you probably know what I'm talking about. This hormone is called dopamine, and it's a neurotransmitter. And that means it's a chemical messenger into your brain. It's responsible for the rewards and the pleasure, the motivation that you get every time you're feeling happy, feeling this kind of joyful feelings. This is when you have high dopamine. And every time you feel sad, unmotivated, this is when you have like low dopamine and serotonin. These are like the main neurotransmitters for your happiness. It plays a huge role in decision making, focus, learning. And why it's so important is porn, the thing that you are watching, it's giving you a real high dopamine rush, but an unnatural high dopamine rush. And what happens is when you get this high dopamine rush, there's like a spike, a threshold, and it's getting higher and higher every time you watch porn. You probably think to yourself, yeah, but it's nice when it gets high, like when it gets a high dopamine spike. The problem is with every spike, there's a crash in dopamine. And every time with that crash, you feel more shitty about yourself than you was feeling before. This is why a baseline of dopamine is important to get, and not getting it too high, because you gonna need more and more and more of that stimulation to feel the same type of reward that you would feel with normal things. Dopamine does not directly create pleasure. It gives you signals of motivation, and it helps the brain to learn from what things it gets this kind of dopamine. So yeah, the moment where you watch porn, your brain knows that, and it learns, okay, every time I want to have a huge dopamine rush, I'm gonna watch porn again. It's not you who's watching porn, it's your brain who's conditioning you, it's like making you watch porn. Your spike gets higher and higher, and hard things that would normally be not that not that of a problem to handle are now hard. And dopamine is involved like in every addiction. This is why you see many people are getting addicted to smoking, like fast food, watching watching TikToks, because you get a huge dopamine spike every time, and it's accessible. So your brain sees that and knows, okay, I can get dopamine fast if I do this kind of action, this kind of action. And this is where your baseline gets higher and higher, and like easy things back then becoming hard to do, like your work is not that enjoyable anymore. Spending time with real people isn't that enjoying anymore. Real relationships. This is why so many people are not in relationships anymore, because they get like a huge dopamine spike from porn. They think to themselves, why should I bother when I can have access to thousands of like models, of OnlyFans models on my phone, where I don't need to trade anything, like don't need to trade really anything. So, and the way to fix that is fixing your dopamine levels. Like to fix your porn addiction is to fix your dopamine. And the best way is to be natural again. It is hard, and you need to cut off a lot of things that you are currently doing right now. Probably like watching short form content, eating shitty food, but it's necessary, because if you do like no fap, you're not gonna really quit porn. You will still get urges, and without a plan, you will get back to that same porn cycle. And yeah, for that, fix your lifestyle, fix your diet, to get stable dopamine levels again. I explained this to my students in a very detailed way. So if you want to get free from porn in 2 to 3 months, click the link down below and I will personally help you become free from it. But you need to know the most important thing is replace all the stimulances that you have with natural things. If you do that, if you are focused on your mental health, the shit is gonna be easy. It's just in like switching habits from now to more natural habits. These are like how I said, the diet, going outside more, spending time with real people, and not live in this artificial world that isn't really making you happy. This is like a fake dopamine rush that isn't a long lasting happiness factor. So yeah, the moment when you are aware of that and change more to natural things and be consistent, because this isn't gonna happen overnight. This is like a process of months. If you stick to it, you will get free from porn. But again, I explain it in detail. If you want to get serious with this and fix your life, get free from porn, again, click the link down below. Hope you learned something from this. See you in the next video.